When I was learning fingering for pianos, it was during the pandemic. I started taking piano one while I was in Valencia College in the spring. Um, I only stayed on campus for 2 months, and they shut us down for the pandemic in early March. It was a bit of a disappointment because I barely got to touch anything in piano with Professor David Wu at Valencia College, and it was quite troubling. So we had to move everything to digital, and it was pretty much like I had to self-teach myself how to play piano. And then when I transferred to UCF, I explained the situation to Professor Robin Jensen, and of course, she understood, and she mentioned piano 2 was going to be a little bit of a layback because we were still in pandemic mode, and we were in mixed mode for our classes. We were in the mix of in-person and online courses for piano 2 at UCF, and it was still pretty much learning the basics. When learning piano, the fingerings is not like anything on the flute or the violin or a trombone and such. It's always gonna be with your fingers. No, not much arm movement or such. So if you're looking towards piano, you're gonna start off in the key of C major, and with the key of C major, you're actually going to use your fingers. Your thumb on your right hand is gonna be finger 1, and your pinky on your left hand is gonna be finger 1. Allow me to explain. Playing scales on piano can either be easy or difficult. It usually depends on the scale that you are playing. As we learned from Piano 1, your first piano class, you go ahead and start with middle C, or the C major scale, because that scale is all white keys. You won't be touching any of the black keys, which usually contain sharps or flats. It's all white up until F major. Excuse me. So, as I've mentioned, you'll be using fingers on the white keys. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The easiest way to do it is if you go ahead and read it backwards. At least that's how I made it easy for myself. I would actually work backwards to complete the scale. The last 5 notes that you're going to be playing on the C major scale is C, D, E, F, G. Once you figure out those notes, it's going to be easy to figure out what is known as crossing over, which is how you go ahead and progress through the scale in multiple octaves. When it comes to C major, it's crossing over is like this. So I'm going to take my thumb, my index, and middle finger and play C, D, E. After that, you're actually going to cross with your thumb. So 1, 1, 2, 3. Then cross over with your thumb onto F, and then do F, G, A, B. And then after B natural, you're gonna cross again, so you can do C, D, E again, cross over again to finish off with F, G, A, B, C. So C is gonna be with your pinky finger. That's how you end all the scales. And then you'll go ahead and do the same thing when you are descending. Allow me to show you with the right hand in C major. The left hand is going to work the same way, but almost in an opposite pattern. So it's actually going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll cross over with 3 to play A, B, C. Cross over with 4 to play D, E, F, G. Cross over again to finish off with 3, 2, 1, A, B, C. And then you go ahead and descend. Allow me to show you how it looks and sounds when you play them both together. Okay, see if you go back and rewind, you're going to go ahead and see that my left hand actually had incorrect crossovers, where my right hand was actually pretty much decent. I actually crossed over with the thumb on F, so I would be ending in 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 3, 4, 5 like I'm supposed to. And then I also went ahead and did the same thing down here, except I would be playing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go ahead and do that again in a much slower tempo. Even at the slower tempo, my right hand was able to get the ascending much better, but the descending stayed more or less the same. You're gonna feel the need to cross over whenever you feel like it's necessary. It's gonna be difficult, but if you go ahead and achieve the piano the way that you think you should, it's not really going to go well, especially for exams, because they are very strict when it comes to fingerings, and when fingerings are wrong, it costs you major points on an exam. So let's do this one more time. Now that time, it's different than the other two, and here's why. Not only did I take it at a slower tempo, but there was also a pause of hesitation. The hesitation is not something you'd want to do in an exam. However, with that hesitation, I was able to get my fingerings correct. It's okay to go ahead and feel nervous when you're doing something on your first try. Believe me, it was difficult for me to play piano. No, and it got me very frustrated. I had to often overthink things. But as I took my time with it, it became so much easier, and it became very clear to me on how these patterns would go, even if I wished to continue forward. The next form of fingering is going to be the Bunny Boy Scout pattern that I learned from Dr. Gary Bogers here at UCF in Piano 3, and we continue to use it during Piano 4. So it was basically prominent towards the black key chords in piano, such as B natural, which is what I will show you in an example, or E major, or A major, and such. So basically what it is that the bunny ears, as Dr. Bogus would call it, would be your pointer and your middle finger. That's what gives it the pointy ears. And then the Boy Scout pattern is going to be using 2, 3, and 4 with your with your index finger, your middle finger, and your ring finger, thus doing Scout's honor. Allow me to show you with B major. When learning B major is a lot different than your standard C major scale, because you're using black keys such as D flat and E flat, or in this case C sharp and D sharp. So what it is that it's because the fingering is different in order to achieve the Bunny Boy Scout pattern. You're actually going to start with your ring finger on 4 on your left hand, not your pinky finger, because if you do, it's going to be a bit troubling to cross over with the to get the next octave into it. When you do your right hand for B major, it's actually going to remain the same. So what it is we'll start with the left hand. You're going to do B flat, B natural, C sharp, D sharp, and E on 4, 3, 2, 1. That's because 2 and 3 are going to be your bunny ears. That's why they call it the bunny ears, Professor Bogus. And then you're gonna cross over on 4 after E, and then you're going to do F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp to complete the set. That's what gives it the Boy Scout pattern, Scout's honor. And then once you complete the scale for B major, the first time you're gonna cross over with 3. So you're not going to switch to 4 and then 3. Your thumb will stay on 1 on your left hand, and you will cross over on 3, and repeat the pattern until you reach the end of the octave, and then descend until you can go ahead and get that pattern correctly. Allow me to show you. On your right hand, as I've stated, is still going to be the original pattern for the right hand. So it's still going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That because it's still in that pattern, it's actually easier to do the Bunny Boy Scout pattern with the B major scale on the right hand. So once you play D sharp, you're gonna cross over up to E with your thumb on your right hand, and then go ahead and finish on A sharp with 4, which is your ring finger. Cross over with 1, do 1, 2, 3 again, and then do 1, 2, 3, 4 again. But then you're gonna end with your pinky on 5, which is B natural. And then you'll go ahead and descend. So if you go ahead and put your hands together, it's going to sound a lot like this. The trick when descending, you're actually going to feel yourself crossing when you're not supposed to. For example, if you go ahead and descend from E to B natural on the down to the first octave, you have to end on 4. There were certain moments where I wanted to cross over on 1 and keep going. You could if you wish to do it 3 octaves, but because this is solely 2 octaves, you must end on 4. Or even if you do know that you're going to stop on this B natural right here, do not cross over with 1, otherwise you will get docked points. The next basic component in learning Piano 1 are triads. They are the basic notes that combine and make the scale. When you're looking to scales such as, let's take E major, for example, that's more of the Bunny Boy Scout pattern. But as we are focusing only on triads, only 3 of your 5 fingers are going to be used. 1, 3, and 5. Your pinky, your middle, and your thumb. That's what builds the triads. It's going to be the same way for your left hand. And in turn, you're actually going to learn your 1, 4, 5, 1 patterns, which actually builds also builds the scale and keys as well. Allow me to show you. By using E major as the example, by using 1, 3, 5, you're actually going to be having your thumb on E, your middle finger on A flat, or in this case G sharp, and then your pinky on B natural. That's when it's going to build the major 1 chord of E major. And it's going to be the same way for your left hand, with your pinky on E, your middle finger on G sharp, and then your thumb on B natural. See how melodious that sounds? It's beautiful. And then when building your 4 and 5 chords, it's going to be challenging if you haven't taken music theory. Because I took music theory before piano, I was able to get it a slightly easier. But of course, I still had the issue with fingerings. So what you're gonna do is that, let's do the left hand for right now. When using the left hand, your 4 chord of E major, you're actually going to bring your thumb up a whole step. So you're gonna go from B natural to C sharp. That's gonna be your whole step. And then you're gonna bring your G sharp down to A, which is up by a half step. That's gonna make your 4 chord. So allow me to show you what we've had so far by going from 1 to 4. And now as we go back to the 1 chord, you're actually going to bring it from G sharp to A again. But you're going to go ahead and put E to E flat or D sharp, which is down a half step. That's going to give you your 5-7 chord. It sounds very minor, or very ominous, as it were. I've always found it very confusing myself why it's like that, especially since 5 is a major chord. After that, you're gonna go and you just go back to E, G sharp, and B, which gives you the 1 chord. So watch what happens when we go ahead and put that together. that is how the scale, the 1-4-5-1 patterns on E major are supposed to sound like. And it's going to be the same way with the right hand. Bring your pinky up a whole step for 4, and then your middle finger up a half, back to 1, and then bring your thumb down a half step, and then you bring your 3 up a half step. Now some people can go ahead and actually use 3 for when playing the 5 chord. You can some people actually go ahead and bring your middle finger up a half step, but some people like to go ahead and actually use 4. It's not wrong to do that. It's actually a lot more comfortable. But for some reason, pianists would prefer for you to have 3, which is really weird. But in when I was learning this in piano 3, we always switched for 4 chord, 4 or 2. Depending on the right hand, on which hand that you're using. So watch what happens when we put both of these together. It's beautiful. E major is one of my favorite keys in piano, well, at least while playing the piano. And it's going to be difficult within the years, but trust and believe, it will help you out. And hopefully, as time moves on, you can meet people that can go ahead and assist you with this. Dr. Bogers and Dr. Jensen were always willing to be there to assist me, and it was such a great opportunity for me to work with other people on another instrument. The reason why people are going to have you teach or learn piano is because for music majors, it is a requirement for those to study, that want to study music or learn music, teach, play, that you have a basic background on piano, even if you're not willing to be a pianist. When I first heard that, I was very disappointed because I was always prolific in trombone. But as time moved forward during my college years, the piano really assisted me in a lot of ways that I didn't even imagine. And as the years went forward, I got more comfortable playing pieces that I never thought I would be playing. In piano 2, I learned how to play an arrangement of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, which is a very difficult piece for anyone to learn, even a professional, because it was in the later years of Beethoven in his life, just before he was about to start losing his hearing. Within those last 12 years. In time, it took almost a semester for me to get decent with Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, and I had to eventually learn how to use a pedal to sustain those tones. It felt incredible having to know a piece such as that. And in my spare time, when I'm not doing the piano excerpts for class, I would take a chance to learn something new. An example would be a piece that I've learned recently called Vivi's Fluorite Eyes Song, entitled The Singularity Project Prototype. It's from this anime called Vivi Fluorite Eyes Song, from Aniplex, which is prolifically surrounded by a music theme voice actress that's willing to find herself in music as a performer and as an AI. The main character Vivi actually wrote this song by hand, and most people didn't really know what this piece really was until the final version came out. Like the prototype version was never finished, so it just took a lot of time and effort for people around the world who either knew a lot about piano or knew nothing about piano to think what the song would be like. And when I played the piece, it felt amazing, and it encouraged me to actually push forward and actually attempt to learn the final version, which is what I'm actually working on right now in my spare time. Piano is an amazing journey, a difficult one at best, especially since it's not a wind instrument. But all in all, it is going to save a lot of time, and it's going to help you so much in the future. My advice to anyone is to be sure to ask anyone for help whenever you need it, no matter who it is. If it's a professor, if it's a friend, or if you want to go get started early before college, go to a private lesson studio like Music and Arts or Sam Ash and such. They will be willing to assist you. I have resources on my website, the Alfred's Group Books for Piano 1 and 2. These were the books that I used when I was learning piano at UCF. Hopefully they can go ahead and assist you very well. Thank you very much for taking this time on Piano 101, and I hope to see you all make excellent strides for your future.